Okay, guys, here we go. It's an Ask Me Anything day, and I've got some other things I want to talk to you guys about, tell you guys about. I'll be making vids on them, but it really doesn't matter because when I make vids on things, YouTube doesn't send them to you guys anyway. So we'll see if any of you actually get notified here. And unfortunately, I should wait and see if there's. Oh, this didn't. Come on. This didn't put my settings in. No, it did. Okay. I thought I had it set to unlisted again. Um, I can't get Stream Elements to work. I don't know. Nothing changed. We're using it fine, and I tested it before this stream because it had quit last stream, and it's gone. Can't get it to work anymore. Hey, Brandon and Dark Dingo and Red Wolf, you're Rick. Am I atheist or religious? No, I'm atheist. Paxlook says you got a notification right away, Damien. And Azumi, it's funny with what I have to talk about today. It seems like all of a sudden lately, Stream Elements bot running. Yeah, why would you tell me that? Because Stream Elements doesn't work. Hey, Jill, would you consider this as a question? Um, yes, only because you put a question mark at the end of that sentence. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. Super Thunder got a notification. It's really funny you say that because you guys know notifications have been death around here. They just don't get sent out. And and Italian Potato got one. I was just going to talk to you guys today. I actually set up a Kick account because I'm getting so disgusted with no notifications. And I was thinking about experimenting with streaming over at Kick. I wonder, this might be a long shot. Do you think we might be getting more notifications sent out because YouTube's starting to panic now, especially with what happened with Kick? You know, with them giving what's his face that $100 million contract, and tons of streamers have jumped over there already from both Twitch and YouTube. I'm wondering, maybe all of a sudden YouTube will go, oh well, maybe if we do things like send out notifications on the people that do stream here, maybe they'll stay. No, Stream Elements is something I added to the system, Jill, and all it did was allow, if you guys super chatted, it turned that into voice, and it also put some other extra little bells and whistles up. Let me see if it'll work now, since it said that Stream Elements bot is running. Hold on a second. Oh, I think Twitch is definitely panicking more than YouTube packs. Yeah, I think so too. But YouTube supposedly, by their own admission, really wants to get the whole streaming thing really in gear here. So hold on, I'll try and add the Stream Elements once more. I don't want to chase it all day like I did yesterday. It just takes up too much of the stream. All right, that's the one we want. Okay, now it's working in Stream Elements Lab here. Now let's see when I post it if it works. Let's see. Add source. I'll be right back with you guys. I'll just see if I can put this on here for you or not. Here it's web page. And we're going to paste it in there. Click OK, and there's nothing. Nope. You don't see the chat. You don't see anything. It just doesn't work. I have no idea why. It was working fine. I set it up several days ago. Yeah, and it works everywhere except on. I'm going to leave it up just in case it decides to start working. Hey, SLK. Big Green says, yeah, when I rewatched the Hard Time stream archive, I noticed how much it was trying to get Stream Elements back running. So even timestamp when the gameplay continued. I appreciate it, Big Green. Yeah, because I'm not going to go through that again. If Stream Elements doesn't work, we just won't use it. But nothing changed in my setup from the days it was working. It just quit yesterday randomly. XQC Pack says has been leading Twitch in terms of views for years now. It was basically like a sports team losing their best player. Right, right. No, I get the significance, but I think I don't know. What do you guys think about Kick? Should I set up a Kick account and do some streaming there too? Or I did set up a Kick account. I even show it to you. Did I bookmark it already? Yeah. This is the Kick account I set up because you guys know how irritated I've become with YouTube, and I've also set up and I have been posting to a Rumble account. That's where the wrestling and the comedy videos are going to go. Pack says, I think Dream was right about Kick. They could be dominating Twitch right now if Aiden Ross wasn't their figurehead. Yeah, that doesn't help. Yeah, that's a good point. Austin says, favorite Jim Carrey movie? Mine is The Mask and Son of the Mask. What about you? I was never a huge Jim Carrey fan. Probably Dumb and Dumber. Oh, there's a lot more freedom on Kick and Rumble. Heroic Nyko. That's why I'm thinking about it. And I'm gonna make a video either today or tomorrow. I'll make it for you guys, and I'll post it obviously to the channel here, and I'll announce what the plans are, what's going, what's moving where. For those of you who are into the try not to laughs and the reactions. Matter of fact, I got to put up another try not to laugh right now. Oh, I forgot I'm doing this too, guys. Right before the stream started, I just got a text from an unknown number. Says, "Hey, Monica, have you seen my golf club?" I wrote back, "I'm not Monica, but my golf bag is right here. What club do you need?" This person wrote back, "Sorry, I may have sent the wrong message. I'm looking for my golf club, which is a white bag." So I don't know who this guy thinks he's talking to, but and now my phone. What the hell? Is everything breaking? Jesus Christ, now my phone isn't making noise. Tengu says, what made me stop pro wrestling? Age. No, actually, I stopped wrestling regularly. I retired because Brax was born. I didn't want to be, as he went through high school, I didn't want to be sitting in a corner getting watered. Yeah, Classy, I'll make the video about that. The wrestling, I've already put one of the wrestling videos up over at Rumble. I'm going to be putting all the new wrestling videos, all the sketch comedy I'm going to be doing will all go up to the Rumble channel. At first, it'll go up here as well to YouTube. But because of the way YouTube does things, I'm just going to post them late in the day when they're not going to give any notifications anyway. And YouTube's just becoming impossible to work with. And now I'm thinking seriously about moving over to Kick. If you ask me if you should set up a Kick account, I would say, what is Kick? Big Man, were you in here when Hey, Morgan! I don't know if you were in here when I posted. There's the link. If you guys just want to look at the page. That's what the... excuse me. The Kick page looks like. The thing is, if we did stream over there, when we stream, you'll get notified. Because that's supposed to be how it works. If you know the person, they should know their number, maybe. Yeah. Like I say, there was just a random text. And it just said, hey, Monica, have you seen my golf club? I don't think I've ever been known as Monica, but I did have a lot of years that are, kind of blank from concussions. Oh, yeah, I'm a huge Notre Dame fan, Addison. Chrome says, Curtis moving to Kick. That website finally got some real star power. Yeah, I don't know about that. And I'm still thinking about it, but I'll explain it all to you guys in that video. But I'm definitely seriously considering it, at least giving it a go. It's got to be better than this. When YouTube themselves, they're the ones who provide me with my stats on the channel, and they say that we have 60,000 people here signed up for notifications, and yet every single stream we do, I get just so many people, sometimes dozens, letting me know either during the stream, after the stream, in private messages that they didn't get notified. They're just not doing it. Oh, thanks, Effie. But again, we're going to start at least testing the waters of moving away from YouTube. As I said, the reaction videos, because this is their home. The reactions, the try not to laugh, they'll stay here. So will the streams, at least for now. We'll just see how Kick goes. Well, put it this way: we'll be doing both, and we'll see how Kick goes. Morgan says, I got notified for this stream. I was just downloading some stuff for my potential second G100 video. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to that first one. That's going to be fun. Pac says, I started, because I like Aizawa, I started getting notifications from the mobile app recently. But if I didn't have the mobile app, I'd be getting no notifications at all. Oh, I get those scam text messages too, Big Green. Yeah, all the time. Usually in the wee hours of the morning too, assholes. That's what I'm thinking too, Zeffy. Zeffy says as Kick earns money, they'll be able to develop better and have a more stable platform, hopefully. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Even though there's a lot of people there, this is still you're still basically getting in on the bottom floor. And if I can, through YouTube, if I can get the message out to enough of you guys who like the streaming to come over and sign up there, it'd give us a head start on anybody just starting out. And here it is, just what we were talking about. Goo Monster says, hello, everyone. Inserts a mandatory no notification complaint. That's the thing. At least, again, if I post the video on Rumble and you subscribe, you're going to get notified. If I start a live stream on Kick and you're subscribed, you'll get notified. That's how the system's supposed to work. Morgan says, speaking of calls and texts, I somehow butt dialed 911 today. Oh, they get mad. That was fun. They actually took it well. I think it happens more than you think. Happens a lot. It depends on who you get, Morgan. Sometimes they get pissy about it. Like if your kid gets a hold of the phone, or like you say, people butt dial it all the time. Pac says, I'm just wondering where Kick got $100 million from. They're paying XQC more money per year than LeBron James, right? I from what I understand, Pax, I think they have big money investors. There's big money at the top of Kick, from what I've read. I haven't seen Chrome. Chrome's usually on top of all that stuff. She'd probably know who exactly, is the driving force monetarily. Jill says inflation hits more here in Canada. What's your stance on it, Curtis? Well, inflation's worldwide right now, but yeah, the obviously an individual country's modus operandi, the way they go about things, is going to dictate whether or not the rate of inflation is higher or lower than others. Debauchery? Yes, Jack says. Yeah, Jack, that's what I got it. I wanted to talk to you, and I got to talk to Alpha about that, because I just thought of this today. I just set up a Kick account. So maybe we'll see about not only moving, those video series that we're going to move to Rumble. Maybe we'll move our gaming streaming and even these chat streams and stuff over to Kick. And the funny thing is, it actually, this is going to sound weird, but it actually bothers me a little, because I've always been a person who's big on loyalty. I started following sports when I was like 5 or 6. I still have the exact same favorite teams in every sport that I had when I was 5 or 6. I've been on YouTube with this channel for 12 years. Been on YouTube itself since 2007. I take no joy in having to leave it, or at least push a big hunk of whatever I want to create elsewhere. They push you into it because they don't have any loyalty to their people. I was more embarrassed than anything. It is embarrassing, Morgan. We've had it happen. Oh, Alpha's here. Perfect. Time to set up Kick notifications on Discord. Also, just found the perfect ad partnership to target your wrestling audience. Awesome, Alpha. Awesome. I'm gonna put, just so you guys know too, Alpha, I'm gonna put that I like that video I made the other day and didn't get pushed at all. The one about the Hong Kong Fooey, the really stupid move I decided would be really cool in a match, and I put it together talking about that night and with all the highlights of it. I'm gonna put that up over at Rumble too. Oh, Jill, you gotta go. Okay, thanks for popping in. They push you like they should be pushing notifications, right, Jack? I take no joy in that. Again, I've always been that type of person. You know, this is where we all set things up. This is where we all came together. I would like to keep it, but YouTube's just like, nah, fuck you. We're gonna do everything. We're gonna do everything we can to make it difficult for you to survive here. Now, here, give us loyalty. Oh, did I? I started to do that and then I forgot. Did I post? You guys are witnessing brain damage in real time. I picked my phone up to make the Family Guy video for today live, and then put my phone back down without making the Family Guy video for today live. It's sad. Okay, now it's up there. Nolan says how get big delts and traps. The trapezius muscles. That's for those who don't know. That's these muscles up here. I knew going into wrestling, that's the only protection, natural protection you can get for your neck, and neck injuries are what you really fear in wrestling, was to get big traps. So my whole life I've been doing, it's a thing now in gyms to do deadlifts. I've been doing all the power lifts since I was like 15 years old. So deadlifts, and this is like over 45 years I've been doing all these. I do deadlifts. I do heavy, deep Olympic bar shrugs where you really feel those traps pull. And then I also do dumbbell shrugs. Those were the exercises I found that developed the traps the best. Thomas got a notification. Nice. Big Green says just Curtis things. Addison says, I remember when I was 5, I found my great-grandma's life alert and said, ooh, big button. Oops. Needless to say, that alarm was very loud. My mom wasn't happy. And Tengu says, what would your advice be to someone who starts a career in pro wrestling today? Same as always. You better love it. I mean, you better absolutely live and die for that business for a number of reasons. One, obviously, in any form of sports or entertainment, the odds of making it to the top are long. But that's no reason not to go into it. But it hurts. And you're going to hurt all the time. And you're going to make tons of sacrifices. You're going to make next to no money at all at the beginning. You'll come out at a loss more often than not. There's going to be tons of travel. You're going to deal with tons of kind of scummy people here and there, typically more in management than other workers. So if it's not something that you absolutely need to do, don't do it. It won't be worth it. Let's see. Oh, a neat notification, Goose says. Damien says, we're witnessing brain damage. Wasn't just your decision to start posting on YouTube? Or at least when you and the chat bots got into bloody battles? No, actually, Damien, when I started posting on YouTube, it was a pretty cool place. It's what it's become since the overlords at Google took over. The shitheads. I didn't even catch all Alpha and Jack's conversation, but Alpha said time to push those coke lines for an extra kick. Tengu says, so in order to become a pro wrestler, you need to be a masochist and a dreamer, essentially. Yeah, kind of. I don't resent a single moment I was in the business. I loved it. I've got a lot of, effects from it that I'm going to have for the rest of my life, but I was never dumb enough to think that getting repeatedly hit in the head with metal folding chairs and stainless steel sinks and stuff like that, and taking the stupid bumps I was taking, that I wasn't going to pay for it, but it was worth it because I loved what I was doing. How long have I been on YouTube? This channel started in May of 2011, and then my first channel I had, the Curtis Candy channel, I think it was 2007. Yeah. Nolan says we don't just witness brain damage, we elect it president. Wow. Biden's been on a roll with stuff. Oh, man. He just that's scary. You know, I didn't vote for Biden, but I don't take any joy in watching the president of the United States unable to put together a cohesive thought and and just randomly going off into who knows where with what he's talking about. And Jesus Christ. Big Green says, I'm sure you didn't like the sink and the manure shovel. Well, like I said, with the sink, the sound was even worse than the impact. I mean, it stung, the impact. The sound was terrible. So loud around my ears. The manure shovel, I've showed you guys that picture. That's the last I remember. When it was right about here, I saw it coming, and then it was night time. Jack says, his trip was pretty funny, though, and the misfortune of others. Am I right? Yes. It's frightening, Jack. His brain is pudding, or it's certainly on its way to it. Heroic Nyko says, I am still confused how he said God save the Queen recently. Yeah, he just randomly makes things up. And the thing is, he makes things up about his own life. You know, when he talks about the things he's done, where he's been, his background, which is all obviously public record. He's been in the he's been in politics for over 50 years. Excuse me. And he just says things that are patently false. So you assume he's not trying to lie about his own background, which means, again, his brain is pudding and he has no idea who he is or where he came from. Well, both. Big Green says he makes things up about his own life. Are we talking about Biden or Hulk Hogan? 6 of one, half dozen of the other, pal. Tengu says, I admire you. Well, I appreciate that. I started watching because I saw a man that loved what he did. I do. And that shared his experience. Personally, I've always been physically weak, but I've always enjoyed watching. Nothing wrong with that. Like I say, everybody's got their challenges in life, and everybody's got the things that they're naturally predisposed for, and things that not so much. For me, you know, I've loved sports since I was a kid. I am not naturally predisposed for running fast at all, and it used to hinder me a lot. I worked so hard on it, everything I could do. I was naturally predisposed for throwing, whether it was a football, a baseball, a bowling ball, whatever. Anything that I could throw it well, throw it far. But we just, you know, we try and accentuate our positives and try and give as much of a helping hand to our negatives as we can. Mr. Wall says, I think we should just revolt against the modern government and force a reform. And again, I've been around 61 years. The government's never been in the abysmal, at least the American government has never been in the abysmal state it's in right now. Trust me, and I know we have a society here that is teams, especially now. It's, you know, you're this team or you're that team. Whatever team you're on, they don't have your best interests at heart. There's no politicians in Washington that honestly give a shit about us. Come on. It's all about their own power and getting their own personal desires in place. They don't give a fuck about us. It's pathetic. Jack says, actually, I'm good at everything. Weird, right? Please accept this without question. Of course. Tenora brought up a good one. Curtis, do you remember this? Aaron and Mikasa sitting in a tree. Fucking. Big Green says, I've been getting really scummy texts telling me I ordered a package, getting me to click links. Yeah. Unfortunately for them, I've been watching my spending currently, so I'm not fooled by any of it. Yeah. Yeah, I get a lot of that stuff too, those phishing texts. I get them too, BG. Nectar says, what do you think about the loudness of identity politics and the quietness of income inequality? Well, I don't think there's a quietness of income inequality. I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people are speaking out on it. I think income inequality is something. I it's tough to say. It's not something you can solve because I don't think it's as big an issue as do some others, but it's certainly something you could rein in with a government that functioned properly, like so many other things. I don't even think healthcare in America is not that difficult a fix, but nobody wants to fix it because you, like everything else, you have extremes. You have the one side who's saying, "Oh, go out, just go out there and do what you need to do. I didn't have health care, or I didn't have this when I was a kid, or I made it work within this current system. You can." And then you have the others that say, "Oh no, give all your money to the government and have them provide for you. That'll work." Neither one of those things are going to work out. There are ways to handle all of this. Inequality is another one, and that's simply by making sure you can put laws into place governing corporations and anybody who's an employer to make sure that things are fair without crippling the economy and crippling the ability for companies to move forward, to expand, so on and so forth. None of it is that difficult, but it's not going to happen in our current state where you got team A and team B. It just isn't. Yeah, Pax says, I assure you we need 89-year-old senators who will never live to see the impact of their decisions. And this is, see, I've never been big on term limits only because, for one simple reason, it's not that I think that that some of the old farts we have in there are doing a good job. It's that term limits are really in place. It's called voters. And if people are dumb enough to keep voting in these people over and over, that is how the system works. It's just unfortunate that we have so many uninformed voters. Now, the other side of that is if you talk Dianne Feinstein, as near as everybody can tell, I mean, we talk about Biden being goo. I think, am I wrong? Dianne Feinstein seems to be gone. And you'll never know because her handlers won't let anybody ask her a question or anything like that. Anything at all. She has no public persona whatsoever. They're terrified to let anyone speak to her. And there's a reason for that. Even Mitch McConnell, didn't he get a concussion and he's been gone for like months? And this is just, well, I say we accept it, but nobody really challenges things like that. It should be plain and simple. It's like if you're going to hold a congressional office in America, it should not be, there should be an opportunity for people to say, okay, we want you to make a public appearance and take some questions. That should be a very reasonable request. Let us see that you're not a vegetable. But it doesn't happen. It's like, well, no, we want that seat, so we'll just keep watering this plant here until the next election comes around. It's a frightening reality we live in. Hey, Chrome. Super Thunder says, I'm not sure whether you follow Florida politics or not. Somewhat. How do you feel on the recent policies Ron DeSantis has pushed on schools with regards to sexuality and illegal immigrants? Like most other politicians, pro on some, con on others. I hesitate to talk about it because people are just going to say, oh, well, you're a Disney fan. I've said over and over, and I mean this. I am a fan of Disney parks. I'm not a fan of the Disney Corporation at all. Disney's always been an asshole corporation. I just like the parks. And I like the parks because of the people that work there, not the people who run it. That said, DeSantis is being a complete asshole about the whole thing with Disney. Fucking drop it already. This is just what we need. Another politician out there who wants to have dick contests with people, because that's all it is with Disney now. Because they didn't fall in line with him. And the fact is, Disney parks have always been hugely supported by the gay community. So to say that they're somehow now we're not talking about the film division where they're just trying to work wokeisms into everything. We're talking about the parks. To say that they went woke because they're having this event for the LGBT community or that event for the LGBT community is bullshit. specifically, the gay community has been great to Disney parks. So DeSantis needs to drop it. Excuse me. Illegal immigration, I pretty much, yeah, and dealing with illegal immigration, I'm pretty much across the board with him. As far as the things with the schools and what is appropriate in the schools, I am one that's all for letting kids be kids. I've said that over and over and over again. We don't need to be discussing sexuality with young children. And I know people say, well, no, that's not what's going to happen. It just if they have questions. No, we already see that we have TikTok. We know there are teachers in the system right now that are chomping at the bit to explain to children how now make sure you understand that you can be anything you want to be. You can be a boy, you can be a girl. And no, I don't want that conversation with young kids. So I agree and disagree with him there as well. So I don't know. You'd have to be more specific on what I agree with, to tell you if I agree or not. Chrome says, well, not drop it, more like just shut up. He could still fight them in court over the Reedy Creek thing. Yeah, I mean, to a degree, even that's gotten pedantic, though, too, Chrome, the whole Reedy Creek thing. But you're right. I mean, enough is enough. And it's gone beyond Reedy Creek now. When he starts talking about, come on, he's threatening to put a prison next to Disney's property and stuff. That's just being a douchebag. Just stop. And he's only doing it as a dick contest to try and prove that he's a tough guy. No, I haven't seen this one, Chrome. She says, did you see the blowback against Disney's new cartoon Primos? It's hilarious watching Disney's diversity thing backfire so bad. Hispanics hate it. No. I'll have to look that up. I haven't even caught that one yet. Yeah, I agree, Tengu. There's some seriously messed up books in children's schools that would be censored on YouTube. I agree. I've seen some of the books that were in schools. And see, and in fairness to the LGBTQ community, I will say this. When I say that I don't feel there's a need for, let's say, what am I trying to say? The story hours, the story times and everything. Anything that is historically a sexually charged form of entertainment, I don't think needs to be brought into school kids. So by that same token, I don't care if all the strippers at the local strip club decide they want to read stories to kids and just want to be helpful and nurturing, and they want to show up in their tassels and G-strings. I don't think that's appropriate either. Pax says, in my opinion, Twitter is a much bigger issue than school books at this point. Biggest social media site that lets people spam OnlyFans links at the top of tweets, normalizing 18 plus work to teenagers. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Pax, that it gets old. I would never be for censoring that, though, because the fact still remains with things like that's a parent's responsibility. Brax was raised in the age of the internet, and there was a responsibility in making sure he was only seeing things that I thought were appropriate for him to see. And there are steps you can take to do that. I don't think it's up to government to play parent. And it's easy enough to try to keep some tabs on what your kid's seeing and doing, and to make sure that your kid knows more than anything else. Make sure that your kid knows if they do see something they're not sure of, that they feel comfortable coming to you about it instead of figuring it out on their own. Super Thunder says, I feel so 50-50 on the immigrant policies. As a Mexican that has family and friends who are illegal, I can't help but feel biased. But I understand why those policies are put in place. It's kind of hard. And it's like everything else, Super Thunder. Like just what we talked about. It's always, now there's two extreme sides. There's no coming together. There's no work. I mean, the first thing that needs to be done is the border needs to get sealed. Because this is, these massive numbers of people we have coming across the border illegally, just, you can't support that. There is a system in place to come into this country legally. Is it a perfect system? No, that would need work as well. But nobody wants to work on the nuances and fix something. It's always one way or the other. It's always either um, basically just, oh, let them in and we'll figure it out later. And then once they get in, it's like, well, they're here anyway. Just give them this, give them that. Or the other side is, well, let's cut off immigration altogether. Just keep them all out. And it doesn't have to be one or the other. Solaris says the internet is not your parent. It's more like a deranged cornucopia sitting around and circle jerking each other on individual topics. Oh, so true. And you guys bring it up, and you're spot on. Twitter is just a fucking cesspool. It really is. There are so many morons and degenerates and just absolute idiots on that platform. It's stunning. Let's see. Nectar says, "Is parents' responsibility what their children see on the internet?" Also, Curtis, let's watch Papa Franco eat shit. Sure, 100%. Because I know my kid and I know what he's capable of absorbing and properly compartmentalizing. That he could watch something like that and go, ah, that's disgusting, and have a laugh at it. 100%. Stan says, Curtis, you're going to watch the Netflix live stream starting at 1:30 Pacific. They'll be showing the One Piece live action trailer. I heard. No, I'll catch it later. As soon as this stream's over, I'm going to run to the gym, and then I got a couple other errands to do, and I want to get some more stuff posted to the Rumble, and I want to make a vid for you guys here at YouTube, giving everybody an update on what I'm planning with the other sites. Nolan says Twitter now allows nudity and legit porn on site, as in you don't even need to hide it behind links and extensions now. Yeah, and that's what I mean. So then it becomes more on parents to stay on top of those things, and I say this, and there are blocks, there are ways you can digitally, electronically try and protect your kids from it. But more than anything else, as I've said, if you have a relationship with your kid where they feel comfortable coming to you with anything, that's the biggest key. If they're willing to come to you when they don't understand something or when they want something clarified, rather than going to idiots on the internet or even their dopey friends who knows who gave them the information, then you're ahead of the game. Excuse me. Kaiser says, have you been hearing about this Johnny Somali guy who's getting a lot of heat for his dickhead behavior in Japan? I have. Didn't he get tossed? Aren't they sending him back to America? I thought I had read that. Chrome says, Primos is the new Disney cartoon they're making. It's meant to be Hispan X. It's basically a rip-off Loud House, but they've had to take down the premiere of the theme song since it has fake Spanish. Oh, jeez. Excuse me. I don't get. And the thing is, see, with Disney, well, we've said it all along. Their constant push towards inclusivity is fine, but if there's a specific group you're looking to get represented in your entertainment, instead of rewriting something or changing some beloved stories and characters, write something new. Create a whole new world for these characters. But I think that would require too much thought and originality. And I don't think Disney's film division is capable right now. Excuse me. He is being deported. I thought so, Chrome. Morgan says, I don't understand why they feel a need to discuss gender and sexuality in school. I don't care what you identify as, but we need to let kids figure it out for themselves, not by outside influence. Right. And I don't buy. There's no way, I do not buy that a young child can genuinely make a decision about changing their gender. I just don't. There's nothing you can say to me will ever make me believe that, because I have several kids of my own and have been very involved in their upbringings, which brings many other kids into your life and everything. And you see there's a lot of kids that want to be dinosaurs. There's sometimes things are just a passing fancy, and even more so. And Rosie O'Donnell said basically this just the other day and caught a lot of heat for it. With her being a lesbian, she said, "Listen," and I'm paraphrasing, but she said, "From the time I was little, I liked traditionally boy things. I liked to roughhouse. I liked football, and these are the things I enjoyed. But never once did I not want to be a girl." And her fear is it's now if a child starts exhibiting traits of enjoying things that are traditionally from the other gender, they're going to be pushed that way. And she caught a lot of heat for saying it because, of course, you're not allowed to have an opinion that goes against the narrative. But I clearly get what she means. Like she could end up in a really bad spot just because she liked what boys usually like. But she was very clear about it. She said, "I never once wanted to be a boy. I just liked the toys that boys got to play with." Tengu says a young child can't even make a decision about what to eat. Right. If they had the choice, they'd eat gummy lifesavers and McDonald's every day. There's a reason why underage people can't consent to things. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And I just think that you're opening up a Pandora's box for a lot of people to end up with some serious regrets for the rest of their life. Morgan says, "Oh, definitely not. They should wait until 18. And honestly, I'm for upping the age until the frontal lobe is fully developed. Used to being a tomboy or androgynous." Yeah. Again, and I know, I have several friends myself who are gay, and will tell you they grew up with very feminine tastes. The things they like to do were classically feminine or classically female. The things they like to play with were. But they wanted their dicks. They never once wanted anybody messing around with taking it away from them. That's just, they like traditional girl things. Thomas says last post. All right, let's see, Thomas. Did I miss it, Thomas? Come on, Curtis. You can do it. Wow, maybe I can do it. All right, hold on a second. Hold on, guys. I'm looking for Thomas's last post. So I scrolled right by it immediately. He says, "Yeah, I was talking to my stepdad about this, and I was like the only thing I was trying to transition to is a Super Saiyan, right? Right. Yeah, I mean, we don't, kids don't have any idea certainly don't have any idea or concept of the permanency of something. Something that seems like a great idea and is what they want to do with their entire life one day is completely forgotten about the next. And I'm not saying that there aren't kids who don't feel comfortable in their gender and I'm not saying that there aren't those that will continue that feeling throughout their lives. I'm sure there are. But I'm sure there are plenty who just happen to lean towards certain likes or dislikes now. You have no idea what the future is going to bring. And again, just because you have, let's say, a little girl that likes traditionally boy things, doesn't mean she wants to be a boy. But if you have an adult there saying, "Oh, well, you like playing with those trucks? Would you rather be a boy?" A kid might go, "Well, yeah." And unfortunately, the old Munchausen by proxy is real. And there are certain parents that if they think they can score some serious social media points by having their kid transition, it's going to happen. S-Blank says, "I constantly switch between I'm pretending to be a warrior slaying a dragon and I'm pretending to be a mother taking care of her kids. It's scary to think what woke parents would have done to me. Yeah, and again, I had to give credit to that interview I saw with Rosie O'Donnell. That's just what she said. She said, basically, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but said basically, I'm scared of what might have happened to me in today's climate. She was perfectly happy being a woman. She just likes boy stuff. Connor said, I'm just going to say our world country is so screwed, I lost faith in humanity. Yeah, well, and you know what kills us too, at least in America, and I think throughout the world, we have two things working against us. One is the government is absolutely 100% dysfunctional and split into teams. And two is the news media is garbage. It's useless. Absolute crap. Every sling and arrow that gets thrown at journalists they deserve. Don't have any love lost for them whatsoever. When you have, and this is where they become, and this is the major media outlets, when you have taken a position to where lies by omission are the way you go about your business, and they do, then I don't care for you, don't care what happens to you. Your businesses can all burn and you can be unemployed. Be better off. Goommaster says, true, when we were little, we played Huey, Dewey, and Louie during recess, but being ducks never crossed our minds. Lassie Lifford says, do you think echo chambers are problematic? For example, this chat. Why would this chat be an echo chamber? Lassie, you can say anything you want to say. Nobody is ridiculed for what they're saying here. To be an echo chamber, you have to be limiting conversation to one perspective. If you have a different perspective, hit us with it. Just because whoever happens to be in here today seems largely in agreement, or the people in disagreement just don't feel like taking it up, doesn't make it an echo chamber. It's an echo chamber if that is the only perspective that is allowed. Oh yeah, BlackRock pushing division. Yeah, absolutely, Heroic Nyko. Absolutely. Connor says, for your information, I'm not trying to be negative, but it's so hard to be positive nowadays because no one cares about each other, and you're attacked for being against the left. Well, and in fairness, each side attacks the other, and that's the problem, is that there are sides, and even within the levels of national government, it's always all or nothing. You're either with us or you're against us, and both sides do that all the time. That's become the modus operandi. That's how they conduct themselves. Nectar says, echo chamber. I don't agree with some opinions here, but I don't want to have the argument unless something outrageous. Right. But again, as long as it's respectful on either side, nobody in any of our chats has ever been told they can't have an opinion, or been derided for an opinion, or vamoosed because of an opinion. It just sounds like somebody got their feelings hurt because they didn't agree with the way the conversation was going, but for whatever reason didn't want to defend the stance that they personally have. Hey, Jangles. They hate them. Says, I've always thought you're a guy if you got balls, but I still respect people's opinions to a point. Right, and I don't doubt. I mean, there's no question in my mind that some people genuinely feel that they got basically gypped by the gender they were assigned at birth. I have no doubt about that, and I have no issue with them wanting to take the actions necessary to feel comfortable. But we're talking about adults, not children then. Jack Queen says, yeah, no, I ain't the echo chamber type. Get fucked, basically. Yeah. Super Thunder says, opinions about pineapple on pizza. Strong opinions. Fuck that. Oh, come on. And that goes on in our house all the time because my wife is a big fan. Her and her Hawaiian pizzas. Now, ham on pizza, all for it. Good call. But pineapple? No. Gimster says, my opinion, Arlong and Shao Tucker did nothing wrong. Now that's an unpopular opinion, Gimster. Fuck both those guys. And they hate them, says fuck pineapple on pizzas. Oh, I just and again I will admit in that one I'm biased because I don't like pineapple to begin with. But I hate the concept of pineapple on pizza. Jeez, yikes. Edward Morgan says, "Oh, stop you." Pack says the internet has made political division a lot worse. True. Now you have everyone arguing politics with strangers they'll never meet, and it always devolves into insults. Saying, "Yeah, no, 100% right, absolutely right." Big Green says, reminds me of that time where I was really young and for some reason I wanted this really girly toy. Didn't make me gay or wanted to be a woman, just my kid brain decided I wanted this toy. Yeah, that goes on all the time. I mean, my wife was working, before we moved, she worked at a preschool just down the road from us where Brax went to preschool and everything. And you saw that all the time. You know, the majority of kids, for whatever reason, seem to gravitate towards toys that were typically for their favored by their gender. But you'd see, kids crossing the lines all the time. That person, Edward, Big Brother Ed, you guys are terrible. Even thinking about that. Although I have to admit, my fusion dance between the two of them, that shirt is one of my all-time favorites. Frankie says, are you 420 friendly? What do you mean by 420 friendly? Do I imbibe? No, I've never, I don't, my brain is fucked up enough. I've never been into anything that'll alter my mind anyway. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke pot. Do I have an issue with people smoking pot? No. Do whatever works for you. Whatever gets you through your day. Goomaster says, if it's on there, I won't turn away pizza, but tuna can go screw itself into oblivion. Tuna, I don't mind. Tuna, I eat here and there. But again, I hate mayonnaise, so it's just straight out of the can. You mix it with mayonnaise, I ain't touching that shit. They hate them says, what do you think about children changing their entire names without going through any legal process and educators encouraging it? How can they do that though? That is illegal. I'm not sure what you mean, pal, because I mean, that is a legal process to officially change your name. If you mean they're just recognizing within the school that they have a different name, then no, I would say that's kind of stupid. Joe says, would you rather drink a big cold glass of whole milk or eat a stack of processed American cheese? Oh, easily. Well, see, Joe, milk I stay away from just because as I've gotten older, I've got a bit of lactose intolerance. And I say a bit because it doesn't hit me all the time, just sometimes. So easily the milk. This is the worst case scenario. If I drink a big glass of whole milk, I might get sick later. If I eat a stack of American cheese, that'll haunt me for the rest of my life. Ugh. Ugh. Tengu says mayonnaise is delicious. I cannot live without mayonnaise. Oh, and I know I'm the odd one out because mayonnaise is extremely popular, but no. Oh, no, no, no. S-Blank says, people think that removing everything that causes discomfort will make them happy, but you'll always find something new. That's why people will always be offended no matter how woke things become. True. True. I do sometimes get milk shits. Yes, I do, Big Green. But like I say, it's not always. And it's just, well, now past 10 years or so, just as I've gotten older. Excuse me, guys. And Mr. Wall says, you ever notice that all our popular condiments have vinegar? No. I hadn't thought about that. Is it? Tengu says, don't worry about it, Curtis. I'm from Europe, and mayonnaise is a big thing in certain countries over here. So gross. I finally come to that conclusion. I will say this. Between the two, because for me it was always a tie at the top for the most disgusting thing I could think of to eat. But yeah, mayonnaise is a little worse than American cheese. Mayonnaise is the topper. Big Green says, I live in a country where mayonnaise is a popular condiment for fries as well as combining it with ketchup, and I fucking hate it. I've seen people dip their fries in mayo. Not a lot, Big Green, but I've seen that, and of course, it disgusted me right from the get go. But that's big in Germany. Oh, whoa, Nolan agrees. Says mayonnaise is awful. Chrome says mustard is the devil. Mustard I can eat. I would never. It's one of those things that I would never opt for it. But like if I get a burger at McDonald's and they remember to take the cheese off, but they still put the ketchup mustard, I'll still eat it. I won't like it as much, but I'll still eat it. S. Blank says, I don't find a lot of things that I found funny as a child funny anymore. That being said, I cry laughing when rewatching Tom and Jerry. See, my sense of humor, as I grew, my sense of humor added more things that it finds funny, but never lost any of the any of the stuff I thought was funny when I was 10. Jack says, I'm sorry, Curtis. I like the mayo. I know we can't see each other anymore. I'll hand in my passion gun. Oh, yeah. You're in the majority, pal. I mean, and how that's been a trope about white people forever is that we're mayonnaise eaters. But yeah, no, God, it's horrid. Big Green says, yeah, in Germany we have this thing called red white, and as the name states, it's ketchup and mayo, and it's popular with fries for some reason. Oh, no. Hero Nyko says, I stopped eating condiments a while back to prevent spilling sauce on the reference book I have been researching while eating. Chrome says, I'll take mayo over that American thing of washing chicken in bleach. I hadn't even heard of that one. Oh my God. Nectar says, I have a relative in New York who are furious because a new neighbor in a 5-story building moved in and is smoking marijuana. The smell penetrates everything and they hate it. I could see that part of it. I mean, if you were having to live with that skunk smell all the time, I could see where that could get annoying, sure. I mean, again, I have no problem with anybody who wants to blaze up, but yeah, if I had to smell it all the time, I might have something to say about it. Just because I don't find it a particularly enticing aroma. Mr. Wall says, the one clip that always makes me laugh is one where the dudes are drunk playing darts and the dart gets stuck in the guy by the board's head and he just turns around and starts Terminator walking to him. You're not wrong, Pax. He says American food is crazy, just long lists of ingredients banned around the world that nobody can pronounce. Yeah. Oh, Sonny. Ha ha. I love awful puns. He says, I don't usually make Jew jokes, but when I do, they're hilarious. Jack says, I loved weed. It was great. I haven't had any in like 2 years, but I fucking love that stuff. Yeah. So that's my thing. Why come out against it? If somebody else enjoys it, who cares? Not hurting me any. Again, I don't, like what Nectar is saying, I kind of get that if you had to smell it all day. But in general, what do I care? Oh, Chrome says it was a huge thing about black people on TikTok getting mad at white people for not washing their chicken. Then it turned out what they meant was not using dish soap or bleach. Really? I didn't even hear about that. I know I told you guys about the chicken place I went to after that wrestling show that one night. For any who didn't hear it, it was called Royal Fried Chicken. I think it's still in Schenectady, New York. I was on my way back from a show. Just wanted to get something to eat. I was just really hungry. It was the only thing left open, and it's in the hood section. And so I go in and I got it. I got some chicken breasts. I reached into the bag there because I was driving home. I was going to eat while I'm driving. I picked it up, and I'm not kidding you. I held it above the bag, and the skin slid off the chicken and back into the bag. It was so greasy. I was like, I'm so hungry. And I tried. I ate a few bites. I was like, no, I just can't do it. And then my buddy, one of my pals who's black, says, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, that's how it should be. He goes, that's hood chicken. That's the best stuff in the world. I'm like, dude, for real? He goes, oh, yeah. He says, you still got it? He's going, I'm like, oh. Mr. Wall says, whose breasts are we reaching for? Jack says, I'm going to tell my Somali mate about the chicken thing. See what he says. If he bleaches his chicken, I'll never let him forget it. That's a good one, Nolan. He says, my girlfriend and I recently agreed we'd never go to bed angry at each other. Neither of us has slept in 4 days. I'm not a big fan of KFC, no, Alex. But KFC, I've had KFC plenty. It wasn't this bad. I mean, Alex, this was a whole different level of grease. I just, and the place was always hopping. And last I had been through there, and I get through there quite a bit when I lived in New York, it was still going strong. Always people in there. Ah, it's just like anything else. It's to taste. But I couldn't believe it. I took that out and I watched that skin slide off, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on here?" For a second, I thought it was alive. I thought I had a mutant strain or something. Quick says, "Did you grease yourself up without inviting me?" That night, I almost did. Fried pickles, Connor. I had. I can't remember who it was. There was somebody in my past, a friend, because they have met the fairs here. They were or in New York. They're all every county had their own county fair every year in the late summer, and I can't remember which one of my friends it was, but I had the one friend who couldn't wait for the fairs to get fried pickles. They hate them. Says no matter how many disagree, I will always say Taco Bell is delicious. Well, my only problem with Taco Bell is again my boring palate. When I go to Taco Bell, I get burritos, but it's just the beef and the shell. That's it. Morgan says I don't like pickles unless they're fried and smothered in ranch. Delicious. A lot of people like that. I'm again, you guys. Now, fried pickles. That's not a mayo American cheese thing for me. It's not I despise them. I don't like much of anything. But yeah, I can't remember which one of my friends it was, but I can remember. I remember that was the big deal was when the fair would come around, you could get fried pickles. I've had fried Oreos. They are disturbingly good, Nolan. Frighteningly good. I've had fried Twinkies too, Thomas. Yeah, and also at a fair. Yep, yep. And yeah, you're right. It's just you feel your heart. You eat a fried Twinkie, and your heart tries to stop. It does its very best to just give it up and say you don't fucking deserve me anymore. Morgan says they have to be the pickle chips, not the chunks of pickle. That shit's nasty. These were I've seen both. Morgan, the ones he liked were the big full pickles. Fried Oreos, fried Twinkies, America. What is wrong with you? 100% Big Green. Yeah, and at any of those, again, as I said, fairs or those type of events, you'll always see that stuff. It's as it's as bad as it sounds, pal. It's every bit as bad as it sounds. Damien says, I watched a video of reacting to foods with the American cheese, and oh my god, it made me hungry. I want to try making the recipes and the videos you react. Oh no, 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 no. Grilled asparagus, Connor, and even that, again, I have no taste for much of anything. I could eat that, but ugh. Oh wow, Chrome says I can't comment. My country created the deep fried Mars bar and exists off chippies. Fair. Lick says Americans will really accuse other countries of having bad foods and then eat shit like this. Oh, Licks, some of the creations we come up with over here are just absolutely insane. I mean, even the fast food joints, it's like they'll try and top each. Here's a burger with 3 patties and 5 slices of American cheese and then some bacon, and it's just, let's see if you can actually survive eating the burger. Morgan says, one time at the fair, I got an elephant ear smothered in custard and chocolate sauce. I'll gladly accept the diabetes for that again. Yeah, there are some things. There are some things that I'm with you, Morgan, and especially now because, as I said, I'm going to the gym right after this, and I've been working out again, been losing weight, been eating right, But every once in a while, you see something that's just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm eating that. True meaning of eating like, yeah, free healthcare. Yeah, goo. See, I'm fortunate in that regard, but it wasn't an accident with healthcare. I mean, the rest of the world sees America as in a shambles over healthcare. That's not true. A lot of us have healthcare we really enjoy. I'm one of them. But the reason I stayed with my job all the years that I did was because it had really good healthcare. I could have gotten paid more at other jobs doing what I was doing, driving truck. But now that job set it up to where I have free healthcare for the rest of my life. So does my wife. Even if, even when I croak, my healthcare still stays with her. So you can't beat that. There are still great healthcare systems within our systems here. But of course, you only hear about the ones that are entirely dysfunctional. But it's free. It doesn't cost me anything. And as far as co-pays and stuff like that, my plan does not allow for a prescription copay to be more than $25. My copay to go to the doctor is $10. If I go to the emergency room, the most I can spend out of pocket is $75. Big Green says there's a reason why GTA makes fun of American food. There's a burger in GTA called the Heartstopper. Oh, it's entirely accurate. Morgan says, I sometimes go on healthy eating kicks and then I just get sad. What's the point in eating healthy and living longer if it doesn't taste good? I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You're right. And with me, Morgan, of course, I have such limited taste, I couldn't go on a healthy food kick. When I start regulating my eating, it's portion size. Amounts I eat more than what I eat. And I try and accentuate the few things that I do like. I love grilled chicken. I love turkey, so I'll try and eat them more often. But the amount of things that are good for me that I do like, it's a short list. I have heard of that, Joe. Have you heard about the heart attack grill? They make you wear hospital gowns. I didn't remember the name, but the hospital gown thing, I remember reading about somebody doing that. Tengu puts it well. Healthy food does have a habit of tasting like depression. That's well put, pal. and that is entirely accurate. Nice shirt, Kurt. They hate them says, what's your favorite anime right now? Oh, I know, I love this shirt. It's one of my favorites. Titan. You mean favorite one that I don't even know what it would be my favorite. We have so many sponsored shows over at the Goose. I'm watching so many different anime now. I don't even know what would be my current favorite. We're watching a lot of really, really good stuff. It's a good time to be an anime nerd over at the Goose. Some healthy food tastes good. Well, again, for me, Alex, I'm not a good judge of those things because my tastes are so limited. But yes, I love a good grilled chicken sandwich. Oh, that's amazing. Chrome says America has a lot of odd themed restaurants. True. Dick's Sporting Goods and a new one called Karen's. Oh, Karen's? I don't even know about Karen's. Oh, Jesus Christ. They hate them says, where'd the name the Goosh come from? From a scene in an anime. The anime is Tokyo Tribe 2. And basically it's a prisoner, or was it two prisoners, I think, in the scene? Whatever. It's one dude banging another dude to death. And back in the day, many years ago, when we could do the regular reaction video streams, Lix is in with us. Lix sponsored that clip. Now, Lix knows me and knew that I would find that kind of disgusting thing hilarious. The funny thing was, a lot of the people in the stream thought it was something being, shown to me for shock value and to creep me out, freak me out, whatever the case may be. And instead, it became probably the most iconic moment in the history of this channel, because that's what sprouted the Goosh name and why that is the identifier of our Patreon and everything. Goose, goose, goose. Yep. Chinese food is my top food nowadays. Connor, I've just discovered, because I never ate much of Chinese food. I would eat sweet and sour chicken. That was it. But I have discovered I really like beef fried rice or chicken fried rice. So we go there regular now. Shake Shack's good, Alex. Shake Shack is really good. We got one not too far from us now. Oh, that scene is so disturbing, Israel. It got taken down off YouTube again. I had it bookmarked. I mean, I've got it stored on my computer because of the goose, but it's taken down off YouTube again. It always gets taken down. Deja Goosh, yeah, Goo Monster. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go. Hey, thanks for the stream. This was a blast. Now, again, I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but I will be posting a video. I'll let you guys know exactly what's going on with the Rumble and possibly moving some of the streams over to Kick. Now, if you want to get a head start on it, one more time I'll post the Kick link for you where our new Kick channel is going to be. For those who don't know, Kick is a live streaming service, and it's just getting really, really difficult to do anything here on YouTube. So we're going to be moving content, videos over to Rumble. We're going to be moving live streams potentially over to Kick. There will still be always stuff here. All the reaction videos, try not to laugh, all that will still be here. And the streams will be too. We'll just be splitting them to see how it works out. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing these, just sit around chat streams every once in a while. Oh, thanks, Thomas. I appreciate that. Thomas says Happy Father's Day tomorrow. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, Brax, I'm not good at keeping track of anything. Brax said to me yesterday, we were all sitting downstairs, and he says, Dad, he says, just let me know what you want to eat on Sunday, and I'll go out and get you whatever you want for dinner. I was like, okay, but why are we worried about Sunday's dinner already? Let's get through Fridays. It was, Dad, it's Father's Day. And I'm like, oh. Right, but thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Again, thanks very much for hanging out with me. I will, fortunately, we've been able to be back to streaming regularly, so I will be talking to y'all really soon.